Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I know I haven't posted in a little bit. I just wanted to give you an update on the Corvette and go over what I'm going to be doing today. Sorry, I should have started it off. Guys, those of you just joining, my name is Tony. This is my channel, TMogo116, where I show you everything that I do to my vet. Here's a little update on what we're going to be doing today. So since the last time you guys have seen it, a few little updates that I've done that I didn't film. I blacked out the reflectors all around the car. That's very simple. There's a lot of videos out there. I did like a $15 or $16 kit off of Amazon. Works really well. A video to come is going to be on the Redenzo Pro M radar detector and the blend mount. I didn't film any of that going in because, again, that's really simple. Today we're going to be doing a AFE intake, and that's why the car's in the garage. Stay tuned, guys. So just looking over everything that came in the box, not my glasses obviously, the intake looks pretty straightforward. I'm going to look at the instructions in a minute. It looks like this air dam has to come off to access most of the tubing. This just looks like it has 2 bolts on it there. That's going to remove that. And a few hose clamps. Hopefully, looking forward to seeing what this sounds like. If it gives me any real horsepower, I don't think so. It's maybe a little bit. I did find the previous owner to the car. His name was in the owner's manual. I looked him up on Facebook, actually pretty local to me. He told me that this actually has a K&N filter in the stock tubing right now. So that's pretty cool. We're going to see if that actually worked out, if I gain anything by going to the AFE. I think I will. It's a larger opening, a lot lighter tube it looks like, and smaller. So it's a shorter distance for the air to travel. Should stay cooler. We'll find out. Okay, so thus far, removed 2 10mm bolts that hold this part of the intake in. There's 4 bolts that go across the front for the air dam. Those are 7mm bolts. I am going to find out what size this is. There's 2 Torx bits right here. Also, the mass airflow sensor, very simple. All I did was slide this red piece back and the whole clip and harness come off of it. We are going to have to remove this sensor and put it on the AFE intake tube. Right now I'm just going to go grab the Torx, remove that. It looks like I'm going to have to loosen this band clamp here and remove this hose and that hose over there. It looks like this. Looks like it's going to be fine. I just got to make sure I clear it when I come in and come out. Oh, there's one more hose clamp here. I might have to loosen that one as well. We'll see. Hang on. Okay, so these 2 hose clamps here are actually 10... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay, so what I went and did was I loosened some of these band clamps. You could use a flathead screwdriver. They are an 8mm socket, so I went ahead and loosened those just because I don't like doing it with a flathead screwdriver. If you slip or something like that, you know, you could damage something, and I never want to do that. Everything thus far has been pretty hand-tight, nothing too serious that I needed the socket wrench. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the tubing going to it. These are some of the breather hoses, I believe. They're going to get relocated onto the new intake. Just got to see how to remove them here. Let's see. This one, little white clip. I'm learning this with you here. If we squeeze it. Okay, you just gotta squeeze that clip, gray white clip, and it'll pop right off. So these 2, we're gonna remove those, and then we should be able to pull this right off. Okay, that's off on that end. Oh, and the whole intake came off because I loosened that, but okay. Wow, this is a big chunk of weight. This actually weighs more by itself than the entire new intake. This piece right here. All right, so that comes off. Now this piece should just slide out. Okay, so just very carefully, I didn't have to remove any of those lines, just pulled out this lower half, or the front half of the intake. And the previous owner was not lying. He has a K&N intake filter in there. So this is a much smaller opening. Let me see if I can move the camera to show you guys. It's a much smaller opening compared to the AFE intake. So it should breathe a little bit better. And plus, added bonus, I could probably sell this K&N filter on Marketplace or something, try to recoup my costs. So now that it's all open, we're going to go ahead and put the AFE intake in, following their instructions, and I'll show you how to do that. Thus far, this took me less than 10 minutes, honestly. So, I mean, if you aren't that mechanically inclined and you're wondering if you could do this yourself, basic hand tools, I mean, all I'm using right now is my little portable cobalt set. Very simple, very easy to do. A few extensions made it a little bit easier, but yeah, it's nothing too crazy. Okay, so the next steps, it says we need to remove these grommets and transfer them over to the new housing. Easiest way to do that is remove this little piece of metal here, and then it's just a rubber grommet. You could actually squish it and just pull it out nice and easy. And you're going to do that all around to the other two as well. And then we're going to transfer them onto here. I assume the exact same orientation. It's going to be the bigger rubber one here and the two smaller ones there where the bolts go through. I'm going to remove the rest of these and move them over, and then I'll be right back for the next step. Okay, so this is what it looks like with the 10 millimeter. Okay, so all I did was attach the two 10 millimeter bolts, and there is a little bolt that sticks out of the body of the vet that will line up with that other rubber bushing to keep it in place. That's all lined up. I put the air filter in. I oriented the bands over here. It'll be really easy to tighten and loosen, and it won't affect anything as far as this line goes, so I didn't want to do that. Now we're going to come back over here to the bench, and we're removing the mass airflow sensor and putting it into the AFE intake. Make note of the way it is. If this was still in the vehicle, the sensor is facing up like that. We're going to move it identically to there. So it's going to just shift from here, these two screws, right into there. Okay, so once you get your mass airflow sensor in, that's what it's going to look like. There are some tight tolerances here. Don't be afraid the screws will start to squeak as you screw them in. Just don't strip them. You don't gotta go too crazy, but just make sure it's secure and it's not going anywhere. Next up, we have to transfer over those breather lines. They supply these nipples that go in here, and they also give you some Loctite. Make sure you put some Loctite on there to make sure that there's a good seal around this and that you're not losing anything. It's not gonna be seeping air out. I'm gonna do that now and then move on to the next step. Once these are all screwed in, you got your Loctite in there, they're not going anywhere. Next up, it says to slide on the rubber coupler here. And then I think we're gonna move over to the car, put the bands on this on both ends, and it should be pretty much done, just buttoning it up. Okay, so after some choice words, bolting everything back up, one of the hose clamps that came with the kit actually opened up on me and shot the bolt somewhere in the garage. I couldn't find it. Couldn't find one in the junk drawer that would fit it perfectly. So what I ended up doing was taking the stock throttle body hose clamp, removing it from the stock intake, and using that. It works just the same. Now we're just buttoning everything up. All the breather hoses, again, just make sure they're on and they click over that little knob on there. I'll show you again right here. Just, that's it. It's not going to go anywhere. And then when you want to remove it, you just squeeze that little gray clip and it'll pop right off. So that's on there. That's good. This is all nice and tight. Don't forget to connect your mass airflow sensor. I might reroute this breather hose or get a longer one and change it. I just don't like that it's sitting right against it. Other than that, I see no issues with the whole AFE kit. It went together very well. Didn't take me that long of time. Just my own error losing the one bolt for the hose clamp that came with it. So that's all buttoned up. This, I think, just remains right here. It doesn't look like it's going to get bothered by anything. I did make sure that the bolts are off to the side, not going to touch anything. It looks pretty clean. I'm going to attach the air dam again. with the 4 7mm bolts, and it should be all good, ready to start. Let's see what it sounds like. It's all back in, buttoned up. Let's go start it for the first time, see what it sounds like. Hopefully there's no check engine lights. I don't anticipate that there will be, but let's just make sure. That noise you heard turning on is the Redenzo radar detector. So it's letting me know that the hood is open. That's fine. My phone connected. That's fine. No check engine light yet. Oh wow, you hear it sucking in the air a lot more. Wi-Fi network, that's fine. Alright, let's go take it for a drive and see what it sounds like. Okay, so I just got back from the first ride with it, and my thoughts are it pulls a lot harder, if that makes sense. Like you feel it more, that, you know, seat of the pants horsepower, I don't know. Once it's tuned, I'm sure that I will see bigger gains. I did feel it was picking up speed a little bit faster, and I noticed that the RPM seemed to drop a little bit slower. Coming back down, especially when I'm driving, see that even now, it takes a little bit longer for it to drop back down. It's not as quick on the decel, but that's fine. I mean, up top I felt like it picked up a little bit. I'll know more once I get it tuned and feedback more on that. Right now it sounds a little deeper too as far as the exhaust note. All of that, it sounds a little bit deeper than it was before, but so far so good. That's going to be it for this install, guys. I do feel that it made a small difference. It definitely made it sound a little bit better. Once I get it tuned, eventually the plan is to put it on E85 or 93 tune with the intake, with the X-pipe. Hopefully I'll have headers by then, and we'll see what it's doing there. As always, guys, my name is Tony, TMogo116. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. I got a lot more things planned for it. More to come, guys. Thanks always. So I'm just cleaning up, putting everything away, and I realized that I left additional horsepower in the AFE box. I just found it now. I mean, this is at least another 20 to 30 horsepower per sticker. I mean, and the license plate mount, I mean, this has got to add lots. Just mess with you guys. If anybody wants this stuff, I'm not going to put it on the car. I mean, maybe on the toolbox, one of the stickers, but other than that, if you guys want it, shoot me a message. I'll get your address and I'll mail this out to you. Have a good one, guys.